Morning class. Today's video we're going to go over graphing equations, quadratic equations in x plus or minus h parentheses squared plus or minus k. So this is the entire vertex form of quadratics. So on today's paper you could have an adjustment with h and an adjustment to k at the same time. It's basically combining the learning we've done the last 3 days. Alright, our first few examples says describe the change in y equals x squared for each equation. Well, first we've got to look at the a value. Now if you want to, you can add in the letter a right there, just so you can see this is where we always look first. Then if we have an h value, remember that is along your x-axis, that's where you go left to right. And then if you have a k value, this one is on our y-axis, and this one goes up and down. But anything on the x-axis, remember, it lies. So on the x-axis, the positives are actually what goes left, and then the negatives is what goes right. On the y-axis, you keep it the same. Up is positive and down is negative. So let's take this first one. Y equals, in parentheses, x plus 4 squared. Now, we see the parentheses, but first we look at our a value. What's our a value? Good, it's that sneaky 1. And it is positive. So that means whenever you see a positive a, it opens up. So it's going to look something like that. Now, that plus 4 is inside the parentheses, so we're moving on our x-axis. Plus means it's going to go to the left. So this is going to go to the left 4 spaces. All right, number 2. First, let's identify our a value. Once again, it is that sneaky 1. It's going to be whatever number is in front of the x squared or whatever number's in front of the parentheses. That's where your a is. So it's positive, which means it's going to open up. And this has a minus 3, but it's outside the parentheses. So it's going to be with a y-axis. Plus goes up, minus goes down. So it's going to go down 3 spaces, or if you want to use the arrows, you can just put down 3, just like that. Now, on number 3, we see a parentheses, and we see an extra number. So we're going to have to go both directions. So first, start with our a value. Once again, our a value is this sneaky 1. And that one is positive, so this one opens up. Now let's look inside. Inside the parentheses, it says minus 2, x-axis lies, so minus is actually going to the right. So it's going to the right 2 spaces. The y-axis is what's outside, and it says plus 1. Plus means it's going to go up, so after it goes right 2, it's going to go up 1 space. Number 4, check your a value first. It is that sneaky 1. So it's going to open up. Positive 3 for the x. Remember, when x is positive, it's going to go left because x lies. So it's going to the left 3 spaces. And it's going up 2 spaces. Number 5, sneaky 1 again. Which means it opens up. Goes to, that's negative 4, but that's with our x, so it's actually going to the right 4 spaces, because x lies. And then we have this minus 2 at the end, so it's going to go down 2 spaces. And every single one of these you could check on your calculator. We've got 3 more here on the descriptions. Now we finally have a negative. It's a -1. So this one is going to open down. So it's going to look like this, unlike the rest of them. That +5 means it's going to go to the left 5 spaces, x lies. That -6 means it's going to go down 6 spaces. Now, if you're not sure, you can always go to your calculator, go to your y equals. I would type in x squared as my first one, and the second one, the new equation. So negative parentheses x plus 5 close parentheses squared minus 6. Type it in exactly as it's written, then hit graph, and you see that the red line, it opens down, and we move 5 spaces to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, and 6 spaces down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last two, stretch and a shrink. It's positive, so this one opens up. It doesn't move left or right or up and down because it doesn't have a plus or minus, but it does have a 5. Whenever the number is bigger than 1, we call that a stretch. And it's going to stretch by 5. So the y values are going to be 5 times bigger than the original. Last one, 8. This one, we do have a negative. It's a -1/3, so it's going to open down. Opens down. Now, that 1/3, it doesn't have a plus or minus. It doesn't move left or right. That 1/3 is actually going to widen, or also called a shrink, by 1/3. So the y values would be 1/3 as big as usual. I'm going to stop the video here. We're going to do the last few examples on the next one.